This is Aki from Ideas in Food.
And this is Alex Talbot from Ideas in Food. And we're here to talk about one of the recipes from our book, or actually one of the techniques from our book.
Which is?
Which is hydrating dried pasta, so that you can get dinner on the table quickly.
How quickly and why do we want to do it? We'll show you. So the idea is to separate the cooking process and the hydrating process of the semolina.
The starch in the flour.
Starch in the flour.
Mm-hmm.
So when you cook pasta normally, what happens is you drop the pasta in boiling water and you stir, and it sticks together and gums and glues and gets all to be a mess.
Well, no, if you're stirring, it shouldn't do that.
But you've got to sit there and stir.
But you've got to sit there and stir your pasta.
And it takes what, 11, 12 minutes for dried pasta to cook?
Yes. For this is what, fettuccine, linguine. Linguine takes 9 to 11 minutes.
All right. So we've become well, a need for speed society. Mm-hmm. But really, one of the things that bothered us about pasta cookery was that you had to wait so long for it to cook. But also in restaurants, you used to have to par cook your dried pasta,
yes,
cool it down, and then cook it again.
For a speedy pickup.
For a speedy pickup. And
yes.
It didn't make sense to us. So one day...
I was going to say, now that we're at home with a 2-year-old who wants her dinner in a hurry, it really doesn't make sense to us.
So we came up with the idea of, well, what if we just hydrate the starch in the pasta first and then cook it separately? So the idea is we take our dried pasta, this is the linguine, we stick it in cold water and we just stir it a little bit. You can put the last little bits in there.
Yes.
And we let it soak for about an hour and a half.
The time of the soak depends on the type of pasta you're using.
Yes.
And the reason why we thought of hydrating the starch first, because that's really what takes so long in the pot. It's not, all of the starch in your flour in the pasta has to actually absorb water before it can cook. Exactly.
And really when you think about how pasta cooks, what's happening is the starch is gelatinizing on the outside as well as trying to cook. So here we're allowing the pasta just to hydrate, and then it can then do its gelatinization and cook separately. So after an hour and a half, we pull the noodles out and they look cooked.
Except for the color. The color does not look cooked.
They look these white noodles.
Yes.
And what we do then is say, well, let's cook them. Got salted boiling water.
Yes.
And what we're going to do is we're going to cook it. So here we go. Pasta goes in.
Pasta goes in.
And you can see
almost immediately
it is cooked.
And it looks cooked. I mean, it's changed color and texture almost in an instant.
So, if I was to give it to you to take a look at,
yes.
What do you think, Chef?
I think it looks like pasta. It's kind of amazing. We should have saved one, but that's okay. So the other important thing that you're doing just when you're heating it up is making sure that you are warming it all the way through, because hot pasta is a good thing.
So what we do is we take all the pasta out, and literally, I mean didn't do anything fancy. We're going to take just a little bit of the pasta water. We're going to take some cheese, some black pepper, a splash of
really good olive oil.
Some really good olive oil.
Yes.
Mix. It's still hot. Maybe a touch more cheese, because I'm a cheese guy.
Because you're a cheese guy.
And so here we have side by side the just hydrated noodles and the just cooked noodles. And you can certainly see the difference in that, what, 1 minute?
You've got a beautiful bowl of pasta. And really, you soaked it, you put a pot of water on to boil, you cooked it for less than 2 minutes, and that's it.
It's good.
And it's good. I can't even talk. One other thing to note, just before I stuff my face, is that the hydrated pasta can be stored in the refrigerator for up to, what, 2 or 3 days?
2 to 3 days out of the water, just in a patted dry lightly in a Ziploc bag.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look, it's al dente. And here, if you break it, but there's no white core. It's actually cooked all the way through. So it's got chew and snap, but it doesn't have crunch.
Yes, and you can actually see that even just by holding them up and the way they wind.
So this and other recipes are
in the book, Ideas in Food, Great Recipes and Why They Work.